to kindly come and join us. Mr. Deepak Parikh, Deepak Bhai. Mr. Rajiv Papreja, Commodity Trading, may I invite you on the stage, please. Rajiv ji. Mr. Rajiv Papreja. Thank you. May I invite Mr. Deepak Parikh, please. Mr. John, going to be difficult, Kundwana Bakai of Tanzania Association of Cashew Processors. May I invite you on stage. Thank you, sir. And to moderate this, may I invite Mr. Odox Rukonge, please. Yeah, Mr. Odox Rukonge, thank you, sir. Thank you. I would like to advise all our panelists, our speakers and our moderator that each of you will have 5 minutes. So I request you, anybody has got a PPT, a PowerPoint, so you'll have totally 5 minutes for everything. Thank you. So Mr. Odox Rukonge, so please start, you are the moderator. Yeah.
Thank you very much. My name is Odox Rukonge, and I'm the Managing Director with Agri-Invest Company Limited. I'll be moderating this session. Together with me is 4 men panelists. And without much ado, I think we'll need to invite Mr. Rajiv to make a presentation, and then we'll have a panel discussion after that. Thank you. Welcome.
Hello. A very happy, crunchy and nutty evening to all my dear friends. I'll be talking all about nuts and nuts. I'll be giving you an overview on focus on basically nuts and then on cashew. Slide 2, please. I'll be covering topics like total world production in tree nuts, world consumption tree nuts, cashew production and consumption, cashew consumption trends and mega trends in India, cashew trends in African processing, industry challenges and how to prepare for the future ones, need of bundling the grades and what are the benefits. Next slide, please. World tree nut production has followed a rising trend over the last decade. Total production is approximately 5.3 million metric ton in 2022-23 season. Total production increased by 60% in last one decade, that is 2013 to 2023. Between 2013 to 2014 and 2022-23 season, global tree nut production grew at an average rate of approximately 250,600 metric ton per year. Next slide, please. If you see in crop year 2022-23, almonds and walnuts accounted for almost 27% and 22% of global production, respectively followed by cashew, that is 20%, pistachios 14%, hazelnut 11%, pecans, macadamias, pine nut and Brazil nut together accounted for remaining 6%. The highest annual growth rate has been seen in last year was in walnuts and macadamias, followed by cashews, that is 7%. Pistachios and pecan grew up at an average 5% per annum, while almonds and hazelnuts grew at the annual rate of 3%. Now I'll show you the world tree nuts. What is the consumption? Almonds and walnuts were the mostly widely consumed tree nuts in the 2022, accounting for almost 31% and 21% of the world share. Cashew, pistachios and hazelnut ranked second, third and fourth, accounting for 19%, 15% and 11% of the consumption. Asia was the top consuming region, 32% of the consumption, followed by Europe, which is 31%, North America 20%, consumption in Middle East amounted to estimate 12% of the global trade. Next slide, please. Now I'll come to cashews, which is the main focus. Total crop almost same as last year, that is 5 million metric ton, and almost 90% is produced in Northern Hemisphere and 50% is produced in Western Africa countries, and almost 25% is produced in Ivory Coast, that is Cote d'Ivoire. Next slide. If you see this slide, that's a very interesting slide. More than 50% of raw cashew nut is produced in Africa, and the majority of it is exported in the form of raw cashew nut only, not in the processed form. This is a chart showing each and everything, where it is produced and how it is moving around. Next slide, please. Now, this is what is the production trend? Africa fast growing, but not slow, almost slow and almost stagnant. Then India, growth is almost negligible. It has been stable for many years. Vietnam, there is no growth. If you can see the diagram. Cambodia is the main driver force. Even from last 4 or 5 years, Cambodia has doubled their production. Next slide, please. New trends in African processing. Cashew processing volumes have doubled in Africa since 2018. Ivory Coast leads the African Transformation Initiative. 2023, Benin will be significantly increasing positions. Volume Nigeria, Tanzania, Mozambique and Burkina are the line to increase their volume. Out of 10 processing plants which are coming up, or new investment coming in West Africa. Next slide. Now I'll be telling what are the challenges. The one is the impact of rising cost and living cost, but we have to teach everybody cashew is not only for luxury, it is a healthy item, so we should keep eating it. Maturity stage in Europe, but we have to keep pushing it that the Europe market remains stable. Then we have to read and understand the cashew crop. We don't have to take too much of risk when we are importing, and we have to calculate how much risk we can take. New RCN trade, good sign, new investors are coming, but we have to be careful. Who are those? Government interventions are there, but there are restrictions and challenges are there, but we have to keep a track of what are the changing rules. Logistics issues are there in the crops. Lot of strikes and port closures are there, but then also we have to be see what is going, and we have to put in the contract the terms and conditions. Price margins are very low, so we have to be very competitive. And other nuts, especially like almonds, walnuts and pistachios, are giving a lot of competition to the cashews. This is more like bundling of cashews. We should reduce. We have so many sizes. If we reduce to 4 bundles, then it will be a big benefit. Next slide, please. See, if we bundle the sizes, it will make it easy for the factory, and we will be saving 15 to 20 cents. And quantity specific and handling will be much cheaper. Acceptability in e-commerce and wholesale trade. Turnaround time will be very less. And in the peak time, factory can produce more of cashews. What are the benefits of low-grade consumption? That looks bigger in comparison because we are making only 3 or 4 sizes. Availability of stock will be easier and easy to handle because you don't have to handle so many sizes, and comparatively cheaper than the old grading system. Now a very big question. Imagine, now what I am trying to show is what is the potential. This slide shows what is the potential. Total 5 million nut of RCN is produced. That means we are producing 1 million kernel equivalent. That means 35,264 million ounce of kernels. 1 ounce is approximately 20 cashews. That means on a 320 basis, world population is 8 billion. Just I'm saying 5% of the population eats half ounce. That means 10 cashews per day. Only 5%. That means 400 million people, and just half an ounce. That means 200 million ounces can be consumed per day. So we can imagine with this basis we can consume our product in just how many days? In 176 days. We can eat everything. The calculation shows very clear. Now a question for the audience. That's a very interesting question. That if the 50% of the world consumes only one nut, that means 1 gram almost. How many days we can finish the world crop? Anybody can answer how many days? Whole of the world crop can be finished if we eat one nut. If only 50% of the crop is one nut in a day. Just 2 weeks. Within 2 weeks, we can complete and finish the world product if everybody eats, half of the population eats just one nut in a day. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, Mr. Patel. It's very clear in terms of production that we are seeing a trend in terms of increased production. But at the same time, actually, the increase in the processing within Africa and probably in many other parts of the world. So in those lines, and I think I would like to invite Mr. Mangala, Mr. Kamath from Mangala Cashew Industries to pick it up from where Mr. Rajib ended in terms of what are we seeing in Tanzania in terms of production capacity and processing capacity, and where are the gaps that we can also be able to fill into the industry.
Hello. Hello. Hi. Good evening, everyone. First of all, my hearty gratitude to the expert and management of the delegation for conducting this international event in Tanzania and giving me an opportunity to speak few words in this conference. I, Mr. D. Vasudev Kamath, representing Mangala Cashew Industries from India, welcome one and all gathered here for this delegation from different parts of the world. Now, my good friend already informed a lot of information to you people, but I want to spend some time regarding our cashew business in India as well as in Africa, rest of the world. As you know, cashew is the king of nuts. The cashew tree is tropical season, native from Brazil, South America. In the scientific name is anacardium. Cashew nuts are rich in fiber, protein and healthy fats. They also contain a variety of vitamin, mineral and health perspective beneficial plant compounds. Similarly, cashew also help to control health metabolism, including weight loss, blood and sugar control, heart and health. Secondly, satisfying as a snack, topping or a sauce and butter. The cashew is beloved to all the people around the world for its usefulness and its rich flavor, and also called a table nut. I feel proud to say that I am dealing in cashew business since 40 years. I would like to share my knowledge and experience regarding cashew trading and processing in India and the rest of the world. Cashew processing is highly labor intensive, agro-based, and also long history of employing a large number of workers, especially female laborers. But however, at present, the cashew industries has been highly modified with modern technology, trying to increase the production to meet the demand of the growing population throughout the world. In India, over 60% of the raw cashew nut requirement is met through import. Various African countries like Ivory Coast, Benin, Tanzania, Ghana, Bissau, due to which there is a collaboration with African countries. The total quantity of import of raw cashew nut had touched 2 million tons during the year 2022. There are around 4,000 cashew processing units in India, providing employment to thousands of people. India is one of the leading producer, processor and exporter of cashew in the world. Maharashtra, Kerala and Karnataka are the primary producers of cashew along with the western coast of the country, while Andhra Pradesh, Odisha, Tamil Nadu and West Bengal are primary producer along the eastern coast. I feel proud to say that Tanzania is one of the leading producer and exporter of raw cashew nut in the world cashew market. And Tanzania nuts have a wide demand throughout the year, throughout the world also. The world total raw cashew crop is around 5.5 million ton, out of which 1.2 million ton from Cambodia and Vietnam, over 0.7 million metric ton from India, over 0.5 million MT from East African country like Tanzania, Mozambique, Kenya and Madagascar, and over 2.5 million metric ton from West African country like Ivory Coast, Ghana, Benin, Togo, Burkina Faso, Nigeria, Bissau and Gambia, etc. are the countries who are the producer of raw cashew nuts. Regarding processing of raw cashew nut, 2.5 million MT is processed in Vietnam and around 2 million metric ton in India, and rest of the world including Tanzania, Mozambique, Kenya, Ivory Coast, Benin, Nigeria and Burkina Faso is processing around 1 million metric ton. Highest cashew consumption country in the world are India, USA, Europe and Middle East countries. However, due to the worldwide spread COVID pandemic, the demand and consumption of cashew kernel has declined, and present the total production of cashew nuts is 1 million metric ton more than the demand. As a result, there is a recession in the market. Further hike in the rate of the currency used in international standard, another serious drawback for the recession. Climate change also is major role. So totally, at present, it has been very difficult for the raw cashew nut processor to survive and continue. Raw cashew nut processing has now become a very risky business due to sudden crash in the market price of raw cashew nut as well as cashew kernel. However, let us all be positive and hope for the good and profitable business in coming future. Once again, I thank you one and all assembly here for the giving me opportunity to speak few words regarding cashew production process in India and rest of the world. Thank you one and all.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kamal. And now it's my pleasure to welcome Mr. John from Tanzania Cashew Association of Processors. I think your talking notes should also be able to tell us in terms of the processing capacity of Tanzania is around 10% of what you produce. And probably in doing so, we are also losing a lot of opportunities in terms of employment, but also in terms of foreign exchange. And more so actually in terms of what technologies do we need to import in Tanzania to help us process, but also add value and produce other byproducts from the kernel itself. Karibu.
Thank you. My name is John Joseph Kundonabake. I'm Secretary of Tanzania Association of Cashew Nut Processor. I'm a personal processor with 10 years of experience in the field. Thank you, Mr. Audax, for the question. I think in Tanzania, before moving to the actually we need technology, but before moving to that technology, we have a number of challenges. Actually, we have, as a TCP, we have solved a number of challenges which actually hinders the local processing. As you can remember, I'm sure Mr. Director of Mangalo, you understand, but since 2005, once we introduced this warehouse receipt system, actually local processing crashed. But the focus of the government was to increase RSN production, because around that time we were producing less than 40,000 metric ton per annum. But after introduction of warehouse receipt system, actually the RSN production grow up to we reached our peak on 2017. We reached our peak at the production of 320,000 metric ton per annum. So, but right now the government is pushing. We have changed the policy of accessing raw material. We now have a primary market window for local processors. Also, we have the reduction of the tax on importing machinery and the packaging material. And also, the government also allow the contract farming, organic farming, and the fair trade program. So that actually improved actually boosted from, because on the year 2019, 2018, we were about 3% of the production. But this year, we hope, we are collecting data now, but we expecting to reach at around 8% to 9% of the total production. So coming to your question about the technology, you know, in Tanzania we're not importing raw material. So the harvested cashew on the December and August, I mean from September to February, is the same cashew which we need to process throughout the year. That's the challenge. So before looking at the technology, you have to look on the awareness of the farmer. They have to be aware that the uses of what are the uses of raw material, of the RSN. If Indians and the Vietnamese are exporting, what are they going to do with that RSN? Because some of the people, they preach that RSN price should keep on increasing every day. But since 3 seasons ago, we witnessed the decrease on the RSN prices. And that's the challenge. That's the biggest challenge to farmers. So as a TSCP, we thought that is a good move to go for total inclusion from the farmer. The farmer should understand what are they growing, what are the qualities is needed, and what is the uses of raw material. Because some of the farmer, we come to understand that they don't know if the RSN is spotted, what are they going to do with that. So now, actually most of the farmer, they are now understanding what are the quality needed. Because we encourage even them, they should start with the primary production. So some of the factories are now buying semi-processed from the farmer and the small processors. Then that is a successful move. Then we now going for the technology. We're now using primitive technology, which was introduced in India at the year 1987. That is currently used in Tanzania. But as far as our production is concerned, we need more reliable market. So yeah, so we need more reliable market. So I should argue my friend from India they should think about importing at least semi-processed cashew nut from Tanzania, so that we can create more opportunity for Tanzania, and also we can supply them with they can be assured with the availability of kernel for the year consumption, because they know that they consume a lot. Then after that, once we succeed with that, then we can move for technology, because we have the market, we have the demand, then we can go for technology. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And probably the next speaker, you may be able also to touch on a little bit on this. In terms of if for the last 3 seasons, the market for RCN, the price has almost been the same. Do you think it is the right time for investors to invest onto processing, local processing in terms of the fruit itself, where we can also get wine from it, and also other products from it, even before getting the kernel, the RCN itself, the fruit. We call it mabibo in Swahili, the bibo itself, producing wine, and probably at some point also squeezing the liquid from the shell itself. Does it also give some additional income to farmers, or what should be done by the end of the day? So I would like to invite our next panelist for some insights. Karibu.
Actually, बैठ के फोटो खिंचवा ली थी, अब खड़े होके खिंचवाने का है. So a very interesting question. I would like to deviate a little bit from because we have been talking around and around about some few things. I believe a lot of people here would be interested to know one thing, and I'll be speaking in English and a little bit of Hindi. काजू का भाव बढ़ेगा कि गिरेगा? Right. So the question is that, do we see that the price of cashew in short and medium term going up or down? That would decide a lot of things, whether what sort of investments are being done, why they are done. So that is one aspect I would like to touch a bit in a couple of minutes. And another aspect is that sustainability of cashew industry and the type of challenges faced by labor in cashew industry, right? We cannot just focus on the farmers, the traders. We have to also focus on the people who are involved in processing those cashew. It is a hazardous task, we all know, and by not investing in technology, what we are doing is that we are putting our, I'll say that, innocent labor in the hardship. Only after 6 years, 7 years of doing the processing of the cashew, they come to know that actually what has it impacted on their own health. So it's very important we have to focus on that aspect. Now coming to very important part, I'll say that, where do we see the prices of cashew, right? See, we have to understand a couple of factors, international factors, which drive cashew price. The consumption of cashews in India, I'm seeing in medium term, long term increasing substantially, right? We are looking at 7 to 8% increase in the consumption. Are our yields and productivity increasing? The answer is that it is stagnant, it is not increasing at all, and if anywhere it is gonna go a little bit of downside because of the challenges associated with cultivation of cashew. Climate change is already creating a lot of havoc, right? So overall productivity across the globe is under a lot of stress. So we have, I'll say that, beautiful next couple of years for cashew industry, where you see productivity not picking up and demand will definitely be picking up. So if you ask me today, do I see the trends? I see the trends are bullish when it comes to the prices of cashew in medium term and long term. Short term, I believe it is too much of speculation already in the market. So you cannot predict on the short term basis. So at least in this commodity, I would not get into what is going to happen in the short term. But medium term, long term, definitely I see it to be pretty bullish. Again, in the previous session also I said, we have to ensure that more and more, in fact, a beautiful slide by my co-panelist showed that actually more investment is coming to Western Africa, right? I believe we need to invest far more than what we have invested. For example, 10% of all cashews are only processed in Tanzania, right? Now it is chicken and egg situation where if we give a good product and there are buyers, then we invest, right? And if we don't invest, you don't get actually that market. So I believe somebody will have to take that bullet and say that, okay, fine, I'll create the sufficient level of good quality product, which I can not only just rely on sending it to Vietnam as semi-processed or partially processed to Vietnam and India, but can I create a product which can be exported straight away to US or not, right? I believe Tanzania and Africa need to have those sort of aspiration where can we create a global product, and in fact, if there Air Tanzania people are there, they give this nice pouches of cashew on their airlines, and believe me, that is what they can do it. I believe they definitely would be sourcing from Tanzania only, and if it is sourced from Tanzania, I think the world is a market for Tanzania or for Western Africa. And with that, I would like to end my intervention. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Another round of applause for our panelists. Thank you very much, and would like to bring this to a close. And once again, I would like to thank all the panelists and the